Hello, welcome back to Middle Earth Monday. Obviously, we have been churning through videos the last couple of weeks, getting a bit of a backlog built up on the new channel. And I'm hoping that you have been enjoying that content. Obviously, we've done a bunch of older videos as well. We gave you the 4 hobbits. So Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin. Obviously, they came from the old channel and are now brought to here. So hopefully you guys watched those again and enjoyed them. Now, the next thing that should technically happen is the Get Off the Road diorama, which I do own and I will be doing very soon. In fact, I'll probably be starting it next week. But what I wanted to do is get a little bit of practice on the mounted Ringwraiths. So I have 3 of those in metal and I'm going to spend today getting those built and painted in order to get them ready for the scenario for like the Buckleberry Ferry and everything like that. Like, technically now is the right time to paint them up, because even before they encounter them on the road, you have the whole scene with, you know, Shire, Baggins, you know, ain't no Baggins around here, there, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'm gonna have fun. I've owned these models for a long time. I had them in the box where you get, you know, 3 metal ones in one box, had all the nice artwork and so on. It was really cool. And they're some of my favorite Lord of the Rings miniatures. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun getting them painted up. They're quite simple miniatures, so hopefully it won't be a boring video, but we shall see. Before we get into it though, as usual, a huge thank you to all you guys out there for supporting this new channel. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or any specific things you want painted up that you think I might have jumped over or missed, because obviously I'm trying to go through a whole host of different bits and pieces. So if you think, I wish you had painted him, he should have been done now, just put it in the comments. If I've missed something or forgotten something, please do call me out on it and I will go back and get it done. And make sure you're giving the videos likes and make sure you are subscribed. Those things cost you nothing, but they make a huge difference as to how many people see these videos and how quickly the channel grows. And then also, if you want to help support the channel even further, there is a link down below to the Patreon. There's a whole host of different reasons why you should check that out and be involved. I promise you, it is very much worth it. And obviously that keeps the lights on and the cameras rolling and helps this channel grow. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in and get these awesome Ringwraiths painted up. And here they are, the glorious mounted Ringwraith miniatures. The only thing that I thought was a downside to the mounted Ringwraiths is there was only 3 sculpts. I probably would have gone all in on a full 9 unique sculpts, which is kind of, I would have really liked that, because obviously we have a scene coming up where we're supposed to see, you know, Arwen or Glorfindel fighting them at the river, or the scene where they're fleeing Arwen, and I need more mounted Ringwraiths, but I don't particularly want to repeat the sculpts. But it's something I might have to do. I'm going to have to go into eBay and try and get at least 2 more. 5, I think, would do it. I think I have the Witch King somewhere still in blister, and I think he's slightly different, maybe. I'll have to go and double check. But yeah, it's a fairly cool sculpt. A lot of motion in them, especially with all that fabric and all that. But they are quite dark miniatures. Obviously, they are the Black Riders. So in order to differentiate them, make them stand out a little bit more, we'll be using a couple of sneaky tricks. One is, obviously, we're going to go for brown horses, dark brown horses. A lot of images I looked up online, they had them on brown horses. Do I remember them being on brown horses in the movie? Not particularly. But if I did brown horses and a brown rider, or a black horse and a black rider, they would just be like a blob of darkness. So I'm going to go for a really dark brown. As you can see, I sprayed the miniatures black and then I gave them a light dusting of grey cere just to set the tone a little bit. And then obviously we used wildwood to do the horses. We did it from the very tip of their nose all the way to the end of their tail in the dark brown. And then we went in with some black Templar contrast paint, and we did this across all of the rest of like the Ringwraith part. There's a whole host of different bits and pieces that are actually in silver. As you can see, his like armored feet, shins are poking out, the stirrups, his gauntlets are obviously in silver, the swords. And then there's usually an armored headpiece on the horse. Now, all the different armored headpieces on the horses are different, so do take your time and try and find them all. And then there's another like little bit of metal armory bit on the chest piece of the horse as well. Yeah, it's okay. Make sure you get the rest in black and then just hit those bits with a nice lead belcher. So like I said, these guys are actually technically in the right position for our video. I thought I'd done them a little bit later than necessary, but I forgot about the scene where they're actually hunting for Bilbo in the Shire. So yay me, they're in the right place. I still have to find my Gildor. He is due to be next, realistically, if we're going by the book version. And I know I have one, but I cannot for the life of me find my Gildor. And unfortunately on eBay and stuff like that, he still goes for like €50. And I'm not sure I want to spend €50 on a small pewter miniature that I know I have. And I know that they did reprints of, so his price should have come down. But yeah, bit of annoying. Like I said, I very much have a memory of seeing it, but I can't find it. Lead Belcher obviously went all over the model, and then obviously we're going to hit it with null and oil to shade it all down and make it that kind of dark drab color once again. We have the, like I said, Get Off the Road diorama that I bought in Warhammer World a couple of years back. It's an absolutely stunning diorama, and it will take multiple videos to do. At the bare minimum, I'm going to go for 2 videos, because what I want to do is I want to do the kind of hobbits huddled underneath the wooden log as one video, paint all 4 of them up together. And then obviously the rest of the scene, the Dark Rider, the ground, the tree, all that kind of stuff can be maybe done in another video. But if I feel like I need to stretch it to 3, I will stretch it to 3. It's such a beautiful thing. One of the nicest creations that Games Workshop has ever given us for Lord of the Rings. So I want to make sure I do a really good job on it. So I will take 2 or 3 videos, depending. I do not know. We're also due to do the Farmer Maggot scenario. Obviously, some of the beginning scenarios, the Buckleberry Ferry and the Farmer Maggot's Crops scenarios, aren't particularly like exciting, but I think I will record them like I promised, that I will give you those videos as a little fun scenario thing, a little battle report. But don't expect them to be long, and remember that there is no action. There's actually a whole scenario where the hobbits are just spooked by the woods and there's no enemies. They just go from one side of the board to the other, and they get bashed by trees occasionally. But that's it. I'm going to actually skip that one because there's literally nothing going on in it, whereas Farmer Maggot might be a little bit of fun. Catachan Flesh was used to highlight all of the brown horse sections. But like I said, we'll keep it nice and dark, but it will make it pop and will differentiate the Black Rider from the horse. And I think it was a good choice to do. As you can see, I built up the ground texture with some cork, but then I kind of flattened it out and broke it up. And then obviously put the texture paste on top of it. It gives you a really nice uneven ground, as opposed to just, you know, flat base and then just brown texture, which also is flat. It makes it look, I think, a little bit more natural. Another video which is coming up soon, which I'm very excited for, is the Eowyn carrying Frodo. I did it again, didn't I? Arwen carrying Frodo. I always get those two mixed up. Diorama vignette model where they're fleeing the Black Riders. I cannot wait to paint that miniature up. I've loved that model for so long. So that's coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. And like I said, hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. I'm very much enjoying digging through and finding these specific miniatures that I've owned for so long, and finally starting to go through the whole thing and get them painted up. I'm hoping that in videos where I have to paint something like, let's say, a Gondor soldier, that I can get it done in a day, 12 of a full warband of them for those bigger scenarios. I think that would be very cool. And I think it would just look really nice to see all those models painted up and play some proper games with them. Obviously, when I'm painting, dry brushing up the ground with a Rise of Rust and then Bone, as you can see, I'm doing a light dry brush over the top of the model as well. Remember that the 9 got released from like Barad-dûr and then traveled to the Shire on horseback. Like, they travel for weeks on horse. They're going to be manky and dirty and covered in dirt. They're not these pristine riders. So I like the idea of making them look a little bit dirtier. That will also add to the aesthetic of them not just being kind of flat black cloth. So I'm glad I decided to do that. And then I just did a couple different lengths and colors of grass tufts, a little bit of flock, and we are left with our 3 mounted riders, our 3 Black Riders hunting the hobbits in the Shire. I took a couple of cinematic photos just for the fun of it. I really hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm very excited for the next couple of videos, and yeah, let me know in the comments if you're loving the series or what else you would like to see.